goes a little something like.
Hello Literates, I'm Britt Ryderly and welcome back to Writer's Ambition. For those of you who've been hanging in since episode 1, you're a real one. And for those of you who just find my humble channel, welcome, we hope you stay a while. And Happy New Year, Literates! We're in this biscuit. Okay, so I am first. Check the swag. Okay. Anyone who's been on this channel for 5 seconds knows I love Alexandria House. These are my babies. Oh my gosh. She has a website or like some sort of website deal where you can buy her like couples swag, whatever. I'll link it in the description. It's so good. This was like $36.42 with shipping. And it's so comfortable. This, I believe, is a large or extra large. I'm not gonna like do all the contortionist stuff to tell you now, but maybe I'll put it somewhere in this area. But it fits my long arms. I have no fear of raising my hand because you can't see my hand. It's all good. Take my word for it. And it's super, super comfy. Yeah, it's just a really cool website where you can go and find this sort of swag. And if you have her Alexandria House, I'm gonna link all of her socials below along with this website because there's a whole world for you out there, my friends. She has a website, she has an Instagram. If you go on her Instagram, it's Miss Alex House. No punctuation, just Miss Alex House all together, no spaces, all lowercase. You can see like she is really like letting us be in the world of the McLean brothers. Like she will have a live couple. I don't know if she's like posing these people or she's just finding them, but you can like, she'll put people on there and you'll be like, oh my gosh, it's Neil and Sage, like for real. And she has like fake text conversations between like Uncle Leicester and Nolan, which like if you don't know Uncle Leicester, he's not a main character, but he's so necessary and freaking hilarious. So she'll post like text conversations between those two characters. She will post like fake social media posts about Joe on her Mrs. South swag, and have salty Esther Reese leaving salty shady comments. Like she really be giving you an entire life. It's so cool. Check it out. If you've read any of her stuff, you'll like it. And even if you haven't read her stuff, maybe you'll still like it and you'll want to read it. And she also posts things like, hey, this book is free today only, or there's a deal going on over here. So if you want to support Black owned business, Black writers, indie writers, Black indie writers, go here. Support her. It's a new year. Try something new. Okay, so it's fitting that the first episode of Writer's Ambition of 2021 is a reflection of sorts. I gave y'all a poem that was sort of like a defense of my good dude 2020, spitting on his name, speaking evil on this man's name. A defense of that. Going into 2021, I'm going to do a sort of reflection tag. It's the Be Kind Rewind tag by OhHeyAndi. I'll link the original video in the description. If you want to do the video, you are tagged. Do it. Okay, so I'm just gonna hop right in because that was already a 4-minute intro basically, and these episodes used to be over in will they be in 2021? Follow along. Question number 1. A book or series that you wish you could reread for the first time. Again, I'm gonna have to go with Dreadnation. Dreadnation by Justina Ireland. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can I say it again? Oh my gosh. Listen, it was, first of all, what it's about. It's basically if the Civil War was interrupted at the Battle of Gettysburg because the fallen soldiers rose up and started like zombie feasting on both sides of the army. And so the war was put to a halt and the world was like, shelter in place. And it's about Jane McKean. She is a Black girl boss at this Negro girls fighting school, something like that. And it's so interesting. It's what starts to happen when these zombies or shamblers start to like, people start turning shambler. They call it, people start turning into zombies, turning into shamblers. In the town limits, like after one after the other, and it's like, this is strange, because this is not some like delayed response. Like, to turn into a Shambler, you'd have to get like bitten within the last like hour or so. Like, it doesn't take a long time. And so they're like, how is this happening? And so it's sort of action, and there's a bit of mystery involved, as in all good actions, and it's just really, really good. It's Black Girl Boss. It's so enemies to lovers, not enemies to lovers, enemies to friends good. I love a good enemies to friends. I love a good friends. Y'all know I'm weak in the knees for sister girlfriends. Oh, sister girlfriends saves lives, let it save you. And I just didn't anticipate it being good in all those ways, like having a protagonist who literally says what I want to say and is as actually violent as I am mentally violent. So it was great for me. I felt so seen, and I felt like Jane was my advocate in life. That's just what it is. And so I would love to have again that moment where I was like, this is gonna be good. Number 2, a book or a series you wish you could unread. My Sister the Serial Killer by, what is her name? Oyinkan Braithwaite. Listen, this is not a 2-star read for me. I think that it was, it's definitely somebody's 5-star read. It's only not mine because I don't like how it ended. Spoiler, 30 seconds ahead. I didn't go 30 seconds ahead if you don't want to hear the spoiler. I don't like the fact that that it ends where it begins, with Corday taking responsibility for her sister Ayula. I don't like that at all. So it's about Corday. She's the older sister. She was a nurse. She works at a hospital. Her younger sister Ayula is the pretty one. I don't even know what she do for a living, if she does anything but like allow Corday to take care of her. And mind you, they are both grown women. Their mother is alive and well. There is no reason for Corday to be the primary caretaker of Ayula. But Ayula has this thing where she keeps killing her boyfriends. There's at least been 3. And Corday keeps helping her clean it up. Then, oopsie, after all of the enabling of this literally murderous behavior, Ayula sets her sights on Corday's crush at the hospital, Dr. Tunde. Oh no. Madness ensues. Now, I do like Corday's voice. It's sarcastic, it's dry, it's witty. It's me. I love it. I just don't like where we leave her. And that's really my only beef with the story. Honestly, it's my only one. I think it was well told. I heard the audiobook. Do your thing. And yeah, I didn't have my what until the end. Until the literal end, when I was like, we're leaving here, and I'm just not a fan of that. Some people are a fan of like that kind of book where it's like, that's life, kiddos. Like that, they like that tone, and I don't. I'm like, that may be life, but choose a different path. Choose a different path in life. And it was just one of those sort of like, realistically, I don't know. Read it. Definitely read it. It just wasn't my cup of tea, and I would like to undo that for myself. Okay. 3, a book or a series you wish you could remove from history. This could be for serious or comedic purposes. I am going to read exactly what I wrote, otherwise I will go on a 10-minute tangent, because your girl was pissed off to the highest of festivity. Ooh, that was me. Okay, so we're gonna take a hard left. I would like to remove the Dare Menage series by Jean St. James from history. The Dare Menage series is obviously, it's a romance, romance erotica maybe, by Jean St. James. Like that's what it is. Okay, remove from history. Talking full sanitation from the annals of every book that ever was. I hate, capital H, hate that Black men are exotic to her. Clearly, and she doesn't even try to hide it. Oh my gosh, it makes me itch. It makes me, what's the imagery I want to bequeath to you? It's a root canal. It's a root canal. I literally, stay on script. It makes me itch when white women write black men in erotic ways because it smacks of fetish. And I hate that she doesn't even try to hide it or check herself. Maybe in the first one, it's less obvious. And even in the second one, I'm just like, by the time I saw the third one, and I looked forward and saw that all of the books have the same white man, black woman. Sorry. White man, black man together. Then in comes a white woman who is either curious, drawn to them because they look so good together. I'm not making this up. That was the situation in the first one. Or the second one, rather. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Or she needs their help, and so they have to help her, and in helping her, they fall in love. I don't like it. I don't like the setup, and I don't like that those are the stock reasons in a series of 6, and I don't like that you always have that particular pairing because that smacks of fetish to me. And it should to you as well. It shouldn't sit right with yourself. It doesn't with mine. It just seems like I'm literally paying for your fantasy of particularly your white woman fantasy of being with a black man. And I could say that in a more crude way. Fill it in for yourselves. Wipe it out, Lysol. Number 4, I have to move on. One book to movie adaptation that you wish you could redo. Series of Unfortunate Events, Justice for Lemony. Justice for Lemony, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, okay. Twilight. How you gonna do for Twilight what you refuse to do for Lemony? I'll wait. Like, how you gonna do for Twilight what you don't do for Lemony? Oh my... This is not a Twilight review because I read all 4 of those. But like some books on the reread, it's just like... There were some things young me just didn't know or wasn't thinking about, like signs of emotional abuse, signs of depression. And even when I was younger, I read New Moon, which is my least favorite book of the entire saga. I read that like middle school, upper middle, lower high school. And even like 14, 15-year-old me was like, is she having suicidal thoughts? This feels suicidal. And no treatment of that. Not good enough treatment. Like not good enough where the person who, never mind. The point is we had all of that going on. We had that prolonged toxic relationship romanticized, and we get 4 movies about it, or 5, and no, 4, right? Because they didn't break up Breaking Dawn part 1 and part 2. Did they? Did we actually get 5 movies out of that? They love to do that. We get that for Twilight, but you can't give Lemony Snicket the respect this man is due. Are you kidding me? Do you know what he did for reluctant readers? What? The Bad Beginning? Come on, that book is this big. But it draws you into a really interesting story, and by book 2, book 3, before you're getting more. It grows you along with this 13-book series. The man was putting in work. Where is his respect? Where is Lemony's respect? Do you know what he did for my vocabulary? The Austere Academy? Come on. What? And also, while we're here, celebrate when your half done, the finish won't be half as fun. Slippery Slope, anyone? That deserves its own moment on the screen. I didn't see it. I never saw it. Instead, I saw you pushing 3 books into 90 minutes and then giving me a Netflix series. Find someone else. Oh my gosh. Waste someone else's time, please. Justice for Lemony. Do for Lemony what you did for Stephanie Meyers, what you did for J.K. Rowling. What? Do for Lemony. Oh my gosh. Okay. Number 5, I have to move on. Okay. 5, a book you wish you could have just skipped to the good part. All right. I'm gonna have to choose The Bells by Donnell Clayton. Very interesting, but it dragged for me. I just found it a bit shallow, And it was shallow because it stayed shallow for too long. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even said it was shallow. It'd been like, oh, this is what, like, this is just how we're starting off, right? Like, this is the thesis. And then we're going to get to the antithesis. I didn't really see an antithesis. I saw a slow burn suspense, which, like, I'm not one for slow burn suspense anyway, unless there's other engaging things going on in their work. There was just a lot of angst on the part of Camellia, who was a belle, and they sort of like prettify people because in Orleans, everyone is born gray, and the belles sort of add color and facial definition and make you into what we recognize as like a person with their own independent features. It didn't really get good to me. Like, it was very like, all right, like playing in the background. And then it got, for me, around the last 30 minutes, I kid you not, I tell no tales. And then I was like, ooh, what's going on? But before that, I was like, there's no way for us to speed this up. There's nothing we can do. I would like it to be sped up. It did start getting good in the end. For that reason, I'm like, okay, maybe I should read The Everlasting Rose. I do have The Everlasting Rose because they have it on the included package of Audible. So no cost to me. Sure, I'll read it. Like, or I'll try. It seemed like it was going to get good at the end of it. So, you know, we'll try it out. But I needed that book to faster. And I think if it was faster, then it wouldn't have been such a 3-star read for me. But if you're into it, I think maybe it's just a taste thing. If you're into like it, try it out. I don't know. Do you see how I'm even my review of it is like half-hearted and like, let's go on, shall we? Number 6. Okay. A scene from a book that you wish you could redo or remove. Like character death, awkward moments, etc. Okay, this isn't a real wish, but I just have to talk about it, even though y'all probably haven't read it, maybe. I don't know. So I talked about a couple of months ago when I was talking about gender politics. The episode of Writer's Ambition that was in my Facts and Factors of Literature in the Genre series, and it was gender, he said. That one where I talked about the McLean brothers and the Sullivan brothers. The Sullivan brothers are in the Men of Whiskey Row series by D.A. Young. So it's in that one. Okay, so the 4th one in that series is called Perfectly Imperfect, which is Casey and Cidra's book. Casey is the youngest Sullivan brother. There's 3 of them. He's the youngest. Here's what happened. And you don't need the plot. It's a romance. Like, you don't need the plot. But what happened is Casey loses it on Cidra's brother, not knowing it's her brother, and puts him in the hospital because Casey has anger management problems. And you don't get any hint of that in the first, second, or maybe the second one. The second one's the novella, so I skipped it because it was like a New Year's Eve novella, and I was like, I don't have any credits right now. I don't feel like paying for that, so I'm not. So maybe there was a hint of it in the second book, but in the main books of the series thus far, there is none. Until you get to the 3rd book and you get to be in his head, and then you see like, oh, Casey, you always seem so sweet. Is there a struggle with anger that you have, my dear? And there is. So it wasn't that it was out of character. It's just that you want better for his character. You're like, oh, yikes, you're trying to win her over, and you done beat up her brother. Fail. I wish that he hadn't taken that road. So I want to undo it on his behalf. But you know, them's the breaks. Number 7. One video you wish you could redo. Not admitting to that on camera at all. If it's on the YouTube, it's here. Love it. Number 8. Okay. A book release you wish you could fast forward to. Okay, I have 3. obviously I have to give a plug to Lizelle Stanberry's Blood Like Magic. And I realized that I never ever like read y'all a synopsis of her book, so here's that. Okay. Let me really give y'all a show. A rich, dark, urban fantasy debut checked the sultry tones, following a teen witch who was given a horrifying task, sacrificing her first love to save her family's magic. The problem is, she's never been in love. She'll have to find the perfect guy before she can kill him. Follow along. After years of waiting for her calling, a trial every witch must pass in order to come into their powers, the one thing Voya Thomas didn't expect was to fail. When Voya's ancestor gives her an unprecedented second chance to complete her calling, she agrees and then is horrified when her task is to kill her first love. And this time, failure means every Thomas witch will be stripped of their magic. Voya is determined to save her family's magic no matter the cost. The problem is, Voya has never been in love. So for her to succeed, she'll have to find the perfect guy and fast. Fortunately, a genetic matchmaking program has just hit the market. Wow. I'm sorry. Follow along. Her plan is to join the program, fall in love, and complete her task before the deadline. What she doesn't count on is being paired with the infuriating Luke. How can she fall in love with a guy who seemingly wants nothing to do with her? With mounting pressure from her family, Voya is caught between her morality and her duty to her bloodline. If she wants to save their heritage and Luke, she'll have to find something her ancestor wants more than blood. And in witchcraft, blood is everything. Coming to you in June 2021. Get at it. Okay. So I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that. There will be a review on this channel. Don't act like you're surprised when it happens. Oh my gosh. Can't wait. So that, I'm going to put the link to the Goodreads to the Goodreads like link, whatever, so you can put it on your want to read list in the description box. The next one that I am like waiting with bated breath on and is coming in February 2021. This year. It's coming in February. Is The Gilded Ones by Nami Naforna. I want it. Okay, so that book is essentially like, what if the warrior woman from Wakanda, whose name I can never remember, what if the warrior women for Wakanda were 1 YA and 2 were outcast and 3 said that they weren't gonna take it anymore. Ooh, okay. So I feel like I need to get the same treatment to Namina because she's a illustrious member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so I have to read you my good sis's synopsis as well. Here we go. Dramatic reading number 2. Okay. 16-year-old Decca lives in fear and anticipation of the blood ceremony that will determine whether she will become a member of her village. Already different from everyone else because of her unnatural intuition, Decca prays for red blood so she can finally feel like she belongs. But on the day of the ceremony, her blood runs gold. Runs gold. I said gold. Okay. The color of impurity, and Decca knows she will face a consequence worse than death. Then a mystery woman comes to her with a choice. Stay in the village and submit to her fate, or leave to fight for the emperor and an army of girls just like her. They are called the Alaki? I'm sorry, Namina. Mere immortals with rare gifts, and they are the only ones who can stop the empire's greatest threat. Knowing the dangers that lie ahead, yet yearning for acceptance, Decca decides to leave the only life she's ever known. But as she journeys to the capital to train for the biggest battle of her life, she will discover that the great walled city holds many surprises. Nothing and no one are quite what they seem, not even Decca herself. Go get the book. You might be saying, Britt, you misspoke. It's only January. The book comes out in February. You ask good questions. There's a pre-order campaign. Bam! You can pre-order the book. And while supplies last, you can pre-order a signed copy. Did I do that? No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Now, do I have any space in my house for physical books? No, I don't. Let's say it together. No, I don't. But I had to do it. I had to do it. Now, I'm already an Audible and like an audio book chick, so I'm most likely going to get it on Audible. But I want to support a black woman writer, period. And two, the title is just really beautiful. Like, the cover is just really beautiful. I don't know if you've seen that. Have you seen it? If you haven't seen it, bam. Oh my gosh. It's beautiful. So I wanted it, and I wanted a personalized signed copy. So I bought it, and you should too. And I think while supplies last, there's also like you could get character cards as well as the signed copy. So check that out. The link for that is in the description. Check it out. I think I paid something like $27 for it, 30 something like that with shipping and all. So like, yeah, not bad for a hardback cover of a book with a personal message in it. You'll spend more on coffee in a month. Okay, so, oh wait, yes, and there's one more. Although I'm not gonna do like a whole reading of it because I don't have it yet. There's no cover art for it yet. But I am also eagerly anticipating Beast of Prey by Ayana Gray, which is essentially about two teens trying to search and capture mythical beasts. That's all I know for now. More about that as the date draws closer. That's a September release, so we got some time on our hands, and there's no pre-order campaign as of yet, so we'll check back in when that does happen. But I'm really excited for that as well. Okay, Literates, we've come to the end of our road. That is my reflection on books that I read in 2020, books that I loved, books that I hated, books that I think just deserve more out of life, like all of those things. So that's that. As I said, if you want it on this tag, get it on this tag. All the books that I mentioned that have not come out yet, I will put their pre-order links in the description box below, the original tag in the box below, Alexandria House's socials, and the link to this swaggy website in the box below. If you've made it this far, tell me the answer to number 1, a book or series that you wish you could read again for the first time. What book do you wish you could read again for the first time, and why? All right. Thank you so much for hanging in, Literates. And that's all I have. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.